The offseason, as you know, is all about money, offers, and trades, which we're talking about right here on Touching All Bases. As you know, I'm your host, Maura Kane, with my amazing panel, Kaden, Riley, Drew, Katie, and Jackson. Thank you for all being here for our last episode of the semester. We're going to start off today with our recent rumor rundown. First up, some pressing matters in the MLB community. Nolan Arenado, did I say that right? Probably not, actually.
No N.
Whatever, said he is willing to move to first base if need be. Thoughts?
Said no and Olin Arenado?
Arenado. I like to use that as JV.
Arenado. Yeah.
What?
Naruto.
It's Arenado.
Oh, I said
I guess
Nato.
saying an N.
Like Sharknado.
Nolan Arenado.
Like Chardonnay.
Yeah.
Sharknado.
Arenado,
Like
Arenado.
Chardonnay.
It's Arenado.
Okay, well, anyways, let's talk about him moving to first base. Personally, he is one of the best defensive third basemen, potentially ever seen in baseball. So I think him moving to first base is kind of crazy, given that, first is kind of where you stick, your least, defensively sound player, that plays the infield. Maybe stick them in left field, maybe stick them in right field. But, normally, if they can't move very well, you're going to put them at first base.
Yeah, he's a 10-time Gold Glove winner at third base. In a row. The only reason I see him moving is, if he actually wants to move, it might be because he's had a history with shoulder injuries, a few here and there. So, he's getting older. He might want to just, just play at first where you don't do much defense. But, another concerning thing I have found is 3 different things. This is all about the Dodgers, by the way. He posted on Instagram with Kendrick Lamar's new song, Dodger Blue, in the background. That's one. He reposted a story of someone he met who said, future Dodger, ? And Kike Hernandez has been commenting on his Instagram post. If the Dodgers get Nolan Arenado, how is anyone supposed to compete with them? They just keep getting star after star after star. Talk about Blake Snell here in a little bit. But, getting Nolan Arenado, honestly, he can't move to first base for the Dodgers because obviously they have Freddie. But he would definitely play third, probably Muncy to second, and then Mookie can go to the outfield. But, that's a stacked lineup if that happens.
And he said he wants to go to a contender, and who is more contending than the Dodgers?
Than the Dodgers.
It would just be a match made in heaven. I think that he's trying to build his horizons, his resume. It's for other teams, like the Padres. I looked up Arenado. The Padres were in obviously the Dodgers with all the information you have already too.
All social media stuff, but it's still him doing that. But also, if he does move to first base, his value will go down tremendously. But so that would make it easier to get him. But obviously, Dodgers can't get him if he goes to first base. So that's not a concern.
Yeah. I would definitely say if he does move to first base, I think that his play would dip down a little bit. Yet again, people forget he's a 10-time consecutive Gold Glove. He's got an arm, and he's only going from third to first. So it's not really that big, in my opinion, that big of a change. If he went from third to shortstop or something, that would be a bit of a bigger change because it's a little bit more differently fundamentally. First and third, kind of similar in the fundamentals.
Hot corners.
So I think that to change to that would be very simple for him. But I do think his definitely his fielding percentage would drop just a tad bit. But maybe later on the season you could see it rise up again. And then secondly, you said the Dodgers. I think that is the dumbest idea for him to go to the Dodgers.
How much money is going to get deferred this time?
I was about to say, we're going to get an vacation here. Ola Arenado signed $100 million from 2050 to 2060.
It would be
with $80 million deferred.
Well, no, they
Exactly.
wouldn't. He's on the Cardinals still. It would be a trade.
It would be a trade, yeah. It would be a trade. They have said
no deferred
it's
money.
more
Is he under
likely.
contract on the Cardinals, so it'd be like a trade, sign and trade or whatever it is, or he's still under contract.
Right now, he is
still
on the roster, but I kind of see why he's wanting to move to first. Is because at first base, the Cardinals currently have Alec Burleson and Lucan Baker. You don't know their names, so that could be his decision to go to first base. Maybe they're trying to get a good third baseman in free agency or hell even the draft. So I think that's what they're trying to do. And for him to go to the Dodgers, I think he'll just be another waste of space. He won't get starting time, which is what he probably wants, because because if he moves to first, you're gonna have to go between Freddie and Arenado. Which one are you taking? That's the question of the day.
Freddie.
I would take Freddie over Arenado.
Is that a good question? Like,
No.
I feel like it's Freddie, right? Yeah.
No.
Yeah, it's
like they
it's
wouldn't
Freddie
move
all
on
day.
from Freddie
No.
and get Ari.
And someone that's
Aredo.
played first base his whole career.
Yeah.
But no, he said he currently has a no trade clause, but he said the only reason he would waive his trade clause is to go to a
Oh, so
contender.
he's going to like.
Yeah,
Well,
because
Ru-
the Cardinals are planning on having a rest year. They're not really a reset year, like not planning on doing much, I don't think. At least that's what some sources have come out and said. So I think, he's getting older in age. He doesn't have a World Series yet. I think he wants to get his first World Series title. So he wants to go to a contender. So, I mean, honestly, if the Dodgers have good pieces to trade back, I could see him going there and playing third because, I mean, he wants to win a World Series. And who's better to do it than the Dodgers? Like, I hate to say it, but,
Yeah, rumor
best team.
rumor is that he's more likely to be traded than he stays with
Oh, yeah.
St. Louis.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Another reason why he could be doing it also, in 2022, he peaked in offense. He could just be looking to improve his offense and, go less defense, go more offense to try and, get back to where he was in
Yeah.
2022.
I wonder if his offense, he's been seen as a good offensive player because he played 10 years in Colorado with the best ballpark in the league. So, I mean, his numbers might have peaked in Colorado. They've kind of dipped down as he's been in St. Louis. So maybe, do we think that he's actually a good hitter, or was it just the
think he's a
Colo-
good hitter.
Colorado?
10 years in
I
Colorado.
mean, he's a good hitter, but is he as good as what we think?
I think with that conversation, I think age is probably the biggest factor. He was a lot younger in Colorado, and of course, Colorado being probably one of the best ballparks to hit in. The numbers are still good for Arenado, so I really don't. So I think it's just more of an age thing than a ballpark problem.
Yeah.
For sure.
And next up, we have the Mets, along with a few other teams, may want to make Clay Holmes a starter. Any thoughts?
Please do it. I want the please.
Ooh.
If
You're buying?
Yeah, absolutely. Mets absolutely should get Clay Holmes to make them worse. Because Clay Holmes as a starter, are we serious? It'd be hilarious. Mets have so much hype to get all these big free agent pitching, and then they just go out and get Clay Holmes for a starter. Are we serious?
One thing I could see with that is that normally, bullpen pitchers are a lot cheaper than starting pitchers. So I wonder if, they know they need to improve their starting rotation, that they're going to get a cheaper bullpen guy, turn him into a starter, so they can save money for Juan Soto.
Well,
I think
Okay,
he,
but,
I think he can genuinely do it.
If that works though, then why don't they just always do that? If a relievers can just start, then why not just bring in a bunch of relievers and make them starters? I feel like it wouldn't work
some
because if it would
pitchers
work, teams
just
would do it
really
all the time.
can't go consecutive innings. Some pitchers, they're
yeah.
just built to, do their one inning
Of course.
every
No,
day, every other day.
More what I'm saying is I feel like if Clay Holmes could go a lot of innings, he probably would be doing that. I don't think there are that. I don't really believe in the idea of there being a ton of relievers out there that secretly would be great starting pitchers, and teams just have to give them a chance. I think usually if you're good enough to start, you start. If you're not, you're a reliever and stuff. And so I don't know. I don't think he should do it because.
He hasn't started a game since his rookie year in 2018, and in those 4 games that he started, he had a 7.80 ERA.
That's probably why they changed him to a closer.
To a closer, yeah, probably. And it looks like the Mets are trying to stay away from the big market pitchers like Fried and Burns because they just went out and got Frankie Montas, and then they have this rumor going around. It looks like they're just trying to get mediocre pitchers because they lost so many players. They're building around Senga and Peterson right now, so they have that to work with. They got to build a whole rotation around that, and you can't go out and get super expensive guys to do that.
Yeah, I would also just not turn him into a starting pitcher at all. Keep him at reliever because statistically, this was one of his worst years with the Yankees. Previously, he had around a 2.5 ERA his first 2 seasons with the Yankees. This year, it jumped up to a 3.14. So the numbers are getting a little bit higher compared to what they would like. So if the numbers are jumping higher for him as a reliever, what's that going to do? What does that mean if he jumps to starter?
Yeah, with
that
more
means they're
innings.
going to jump way up.
I believe that Clay Holmes keeps getting thrown in the deep end too often by the Yankees. I feel like Luke Weaver coming in was perfect for the Yankees because it gave Clay Holmes a little bit of time to get better and adjust. And I think as a starting pitcher, he has a good enough arsenal to do it for the Mets.
Well, Luke Weaver came in because he had an MLB leading 13 blown saves.
Yeah. And it took pressure off of Holmes, and Holmes is now clearly maybe being a starter next year.
Are they trying to copy what the Braves did with Lopez?
That worked.
Maybe.
It did
Killer,
work.
that was nice.
It
Lopez
did work.
is
But,
good.
like, I mean, I feel like that was really rare. Like, Lopez had, like, a sub-2 ERA the whole season. Like, that doesn't happen normally.
I just whip.
Yo, about the whip.
I just think that
Drew,
it's.
what's whip stand for?
He's looking it up.
Ah, there you go.
He's learned.
He's
learned.
After the Wheeler discussion.
It's how the ball.
I just think that it's just.
that was a
Tell me
direct
that
quote.
doesn't make sense.
No, it does
Like,
not.
whip.
He said earlier, he was like, whip is how the ball moves. That was his direct definition of whip.
So, like, what does it
How
mean if the
it-
ball
the
Like-
ball moves in what way?
It moves straight in the air. That's
the ball
how it
moves
moves.
1.2
Sometimes-
whip?
Well, way the ball
moves
like
2
the way
inches
the
down.
ball spins.
So it
You thought
spins
that was the way-
So you
1.2?
thought like a 1.6 whip meant like a lot of curveballs and less changeups? Like is that like your interpretation of what whip? Whatever.
So you thought more rotations equaled higher whip.
My bad. I just wanted to embarrass him a lot. I
Okay.
wanted to into the show at some point.
Before we go off on a tangent about whip, what is our next rumor to talk about?
Finally, for our recent rumor rundown, we have if the Yankees do not land Soto, they are rumored to be going for Willie Adams.
I will start this off saying she also fluffed with the name a little bit.
Guys,
We're going to acknowledge
Adames.
that she did that.
I'm sorry, there's an E, like, it could be silent.
It should be Adams for sure.
Okay.
It's his fault.
But
all right?
And no one told me how to pronounce it before, so
Yeah, we didn't go
this is
over
on you
names
guys.
now.
Way better when you get it wrong.
we've mentioned him in like 4 consecutive episodes. She should know
Because
what the
I
name
thought-
is.
You did say I got that one.
Quote.
Yeah.
I fear
And then we
it's
were all
very
like,
easy
no,
to
you
look
did
up
not.
pronunciations on Google.
Slick Willie Adames.
Yeah, but we'll get back to what we were talking about here. I think that obviously Adames is a little bit of a drop-off compared to Soto.
A lot.
A very big drop-off. But yet again, I still don't think that's a bad idea. That's a good idea, in my opinion, I think.
But then you look at it and you have Anthony Volpe as
Yeah,
the
where are
off
the-
shortstop.
No, he would change
I
positions.
have
I
an
mean,
idea for
He'd go to
how
first or
other-
third.
I
He can't
think
go to first. Ben
First
Rice is
to
in first.
third?
Ben Rice is in first. He can't go to
Volpe-
first.
not even
Volpe
at
can go to
third.
second. Jazz Chisholm
Shortstop to
can go
third is not a good idea.
Willie Adames. You don't think Willie Adames could play third base? You think he'd be
No,
bad
that's
on
going to
third
be Jazz.
base?
Jazz
Shortstop should go to second base. If shortstop
All right, let
going
him
to
go to
first
second
It's gonna
base,
be Jazz,
it's way
Adames.
different fundamentals.
Okay,
And they
okay.
got talent, and they got arms at
Okay,
first.
they have Ben Rice, so that's not. That is
Absolutely.
not available.
First base,
But
we don't
Willie
need it.
Adames wouldn't be like a disaster on first base. He would be capable on first base. He wouldn't like mess up games. For
I
them
think
and
most
stuff.
players
Yeah.
are capable
Like
of first
he
base.
could
How
move
tall
to
is he?
first.
You got to be tall for that.
Do you?
I do.
You gotta have
Yes,
the long
you
legs.
do.
You gotta
I
be
feel
able
like
to
he's
reach
not
out.
First basemen, they look for a first baseman. They look for a long reach, and
How
they
many
look
games is he
for
costing them?
a radius of how much they can
Adames,
go.
like,
Because
he
you
makes
need
that
a guy that can go. Because like most of the plays by first base.
It says leave Ben Rice alone. We're
News.
nothing but
Okay,
praise for Ben Rice. Yeah.
Yeah, okay, so by the way, so they just pointed out our
Ryan's
show's
coming
mascot, Ben Rice. Leave
Yeah.
him alone. So
The one, the only.
So I
Can't
guess
not talk
there's
about
no
him.
roster spot for Willie Adams actually. So yeah.
Adam. Okay.
It's going to be Jazz at third. If this happens, Willie Adames at short, Volpe at second, and then
They're moving Volpe.
they would have to if they
They
get
would have to move
Adames.
Volpe to second. That would be the option.
I mean,
Why not move
Adames said he's willing to move to
There's
second.
2 ways it can go.
That's what I'm saying. That'd be the only option. There's 2
Adames
options.
has said in the press
Wait.
that he is willing to go to third base if the
That's
right
what I saw.
offer comes in.
Yeah, that's what I'm
What I
referring
have to say is the Braves absolutely have to make a move on him. We need Adames. I want Adames so bad. And the Braves are the only team like in the mix that have an open shortstop position. So if he actually wants to keep playing shortstop,
do.
come to us.
Yeah.
You can actually keep playing shortstop
there's
for the Braves.
even with that, guys playing a different position and going out in free agency saying, hey, yeah, I want to play a different position. Like, yeah, if you move to second base, it's not much different fundamentals. So I think he could do it and still keep the same numbers. Going from shortstop to third is way different than that.
Jackson.
And there's a lot of problems with that because he doesn't know how to play third. He's going to have to figure it out over the offseason in free agency. So that is a lot of baggage behind that because if he fails, that's going to be considered a bad pickup. Because if he goes in, yes.
I know we make jokes about the players, so it's hard to actually talk about him seriously. But Ben Rice is the first baseman on the Yankees right now. He's the one on roster, okay?
That's crazy.
I think the amount of games that the Yankees lose by going from Ben Rice to Willie Adames on defense the deterioration is less than the impact he would have on offense. I think the offense outplays the defense. So I think that he'd be an upgrade over Ben Rice. Like, absolutely. It would be a good sign.
I'm going to be completely honest against that argument.
You disagree?
I would rather keep Ben Rice, who has played first base, than take a bet on Willie Adames
I just want him to
swapping
say it,
sides
yeah.
of the field
Why
and
are
swapping
we-
to a base.
Why are we talking about Willie
Adames going to first base.
when it would
He's not going to. I just thought
He's
it was
not
dumb
going
to
to
say he
first.
couldn't
Let
do
me
it.
say what it would be. Adames, if Adames moves off of shortstop, it would be Adames third,
No, I
Anthony
agree.
Volpe at second, and Jazz Chisholm at
I
first.
just think anyone.
That is the only arrangement
I think
that makes sense.
98% of pro baseball players could play first base. It's not like you're not losing games by
no.
putting Adames in. It's
No,
not.
I think I'm not saying that they would be like the best build for a first baseman. Like you said, they want to have a long reach. They need to be able to like scoop balls easily, stuff like that. But I'm saying like overall, like you don't have to be super mobile at first base. I'm like you could stick most players at first base and they would get the job done. Yeah. Would they be great at it? No, but like sticking someone at first base or sticking someone at shortstop, you would rather stick someone at first base.
Yeah.
I feel like Adames is more valuable than Jazz Chisholm, and he could play better at third base than Jazz Chisholm.
I think Willie Adames is a more agile player.
Jazz could go to first
Willie Adames is a more agile player. If you put him at third or first, I think that's just like a waste of his skills.
Oh, I agree.
He'd be more
He
valuable
is an
in a
elite defensive
shortstop
player.
second
Absolutely.
base.
I agree with that.
Yeah.
I don't care. I just want the Braves to get him.
I agree.
Yeah.
He would be a good fit
Come
for
on
the Braves.
over.
I mean, come on, stay at the same position. You're probably going to get the same guy.
Like-
he swaps a base. Numbers are probably going to dip.
Like, what is Alex Anthopoulos doing? Is he asleep in his bed this entire time?
Yes.
Like, what has he been doing?
Yes. What have we been doing? Signing Charlie Martin probably again?
I got you.
Probably in the works right now. We're probably like talking to him right now. Winter meetings are starting. Ooh, Charlie Morton, get over here. We're gonna sign you right now. That's what's happening.
We signed him to 1 year every single year. We don't trust the guy. Stop getting
1
him.
year, $20 million. Let's get it down on paper.
Did someone say Black Friday? Because next up is all the latest deals. Earlier today, Louis. Thank you, but I felt weird saying it. Earlier today, is it Lewis or Louis? Louis. Severino. Did I say it?
Louis.
We're gonna go with that. Signed a 3-year,
his last
67.
name?
Severino.
Okay, word.
Signed a 3-year, $67 million. Yeah, I said that right. Deal with the Oakland Athletics. Crazy name for a baseball team, but thoughts?
How about the A's spend some money?
Yes.
Now
Go
they're-
them.
$67 million is their most expensive.
Now we're
of
spending.
all
That's the only
time.
fact I had. All right.
I mean,
word.
isn't $67 million, isn't that higher than their like entire payroll?
Yeah, I think they just
probably.
And I feel like it was like 66 point
they
something.
just surpassed 100 million.
Okay, well, yeah, with that
Now,
signing.
with that
yeah,
signing.
with that
So it was
signing.
like 30
So,
something.
Okay.
Who knew all the A's had to do was move locations and they'd finally start taking their baseball team?
I know.
Everyone knew that.
That
It's
is
a big market.
literally
Yeah,
my
they're doing that in
argument.
Las
They
Vegas.
move out of Oakland. Now they decide
Now
to go out
they're
and spend
spending.
guys.
They're in a bigger
Now
market.
John
Their fan base was
Fisher.
mad because they wouldn't spend money, and then they move, and then they start spending money. I wonder how Oakland as a whole feels. I would be devastated.
Well,
I'd blow up the
market
city.
size.
I would
Yeah,
feel.
it-
I would
there's not
feel.
enough money.
time
I
to
would
nuke
feel
the
mad.
It is
I
time
would
to
feel
nuke the city.
angry.
Oakland shouldn't be a sports city. That's the problem. Yeah, they're just not.
It's not anymore.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's like some cities just never can be. Pendleton easily could never be a sports city. Oakland.
Pendleton and Oakland are.
I feel like Pendleton and Oakland are not a good comparison.
Oakland's awful.
I fear.
Pendleton Athletics.
I'm just saying we shouldn't be entertaining the idea
Comparing
of Oakland
Oakland to
with a team.
Pendleton is like comparing NYC to Greenville. That's a
That's
way
a good comp.
different.
I'm just saying
I
we
like
should
that
we should never ever entertain the idea of an Oakland sports team again. Like whenever a team was to relocate,
They don't have any more teams.
whenever a team was to
No, like-
relocate, people will say like, oh, Nashville, Seattle, Toronto. I guess Toronto's already got one, but like Oakland should never be mentioned. I don't think. I think you could. There's 150 cities you could say for Oakland. I
I
think.
agree, but what about Severino? What do we think about Severino?
Oh yeah, him.
I mean, good for him, honestly.
It's well over his market expectations.
I agree. I mean, he rejected his qualifying offer of 21
million.
what was it?
Yeah.
$5 million.
So the Mets get a draft pick.
Right. And I thought that was crazy. I was like, there's no way he's getting over that per year, and he did. So I mean, good for him. He proved me
So
wrong.
I mean, like
so.
the question is, if Severino's getting this money, is that going to be how the market is for everyone? Like
gonna be-
Freed,
market is
Burns, like
I'm just like trying to go through like his mental process. He went from like a playoff contending
yeah.
team to the Athletics.
For money.
Maybe
His
he
mental
just,
process is
Like,
money.
do you want
Yeah.
money or do you actually want to
money.
win?
Money.
He
wants
might want to be that guy for a franchise that's trying to rebuild.
That brings me to what I
Like
want to
he's
talk
the
about.
first big face. It's
I
like
would not start with Luis
not,
Severino.
I wouldn't go to the Athletics to begin a rebuild.
Drew.
No.
Talking about being the guy. How do y'all think, and obviously you take a ton of money, there's high expectations, that's what comes with the sport. I mean, that's kind of like a big thing with Aaron Judge and stuff. But in that locker room, if he's making more than everyone else in there combined, and he's, let's say he has a really bad April, he has a really bad May, how do y'all think that, do you think that could hurt the culture a little bit with one player making so much more than everyone else?
Yes.
What do you have to lose?
Yeah, there is no culture.
That's kind of what
I feel like that's
Yeah.
the reasoning for this.
Yeah.
Like, what do you have
Do
to
y'all
lose?
think the A's are going to make any other signings? Like, could you see the
No.
A's
there's no-
going out and trying to
No.
get any other big
I didn't see
players?
them getting
It'd
anyone.
be so cool.
No.
if they did.
I hate
I
the
think,
A's. I hate
yeah,
the name.
guys, A's winning the World Series in 2025.
Look
You
it.
heard it here first.
Look it.
I will get an athletics back tattoo. That's how confident
Look it.
that's not happening.
If they win 90 games, I'll get an athletics back tattoo.
90?
Yeah, I'll get an
90.
athletics
80.
stamp if they win 90 games.
80.
Yeah, that's,
Honestly, 70.
Yeah, dude, honestly.
Maybe like 50.
Yeah.
I don't know about a tattoo for 70, but I bet $100 they don't.
If they have a winning
Yeah.
record.
Clearly, that's just. I mean, I'm glad they're finally going out and getting names because Severino's like the only one they're probably going to get because to the Athletics, most of their guys are just minor league guys at best for other teams. So yeah, I think Severino is a good pickup for them to start somewhere. I didn't say it was good
Well,
or bad. They're
they
starting
started
somewhere.
They put all their eggs into one basket.
Years. Are they planning on winning the World Series in the next 3
Yeah,
years?
that's also.
I think it's a really dumb.
If they're
signing.
planning on
yeah.
if they're planning on
it is.
tanking for draft picks, then yeah, that works out for
I
them.
think it's just like a hey, look at us. We have a.
Or maybe
We can get Luis
maybe they've
Severino.
just
We're a
been
real
saving
baseball team.
all of their money.
Yeah.
Maybe they've been saving all of their money. That's why they haven't signed anyone.
years.
That's so
They're gonna
sad.
go out and sign all of the free agents. Juan Soto going to the A's.
Juan Soto to the A's is a great call. I
Wow.
like that. Yeah.
They're.
Juan Soto
honestly?
Juan Soto to the Las Vegas A's for sure. Yeah.
Honestly, the A's don't have that high of a payroll. They could probably go and build a super team. You think about it. If they get, if they get,
Like they haven't paid anyone for the last
Okay, I think
Let them have their
Here's the thing,
location.
they can
first.
pay all. Here's the thing: they can pay them all the money they want because they have so much of it. You get bigger names, you're going to also attract bigger names in the process. So one domino could fall into another, and they could possibly make a playoff team. I'm telling you.
Wait,
They better-
where
Vegas
is
has
this
to have an
money coming
interesting team.
from?
No, I'm saying like
have
their owner has they haven't spent any money in the last tons
I
of
think
years.
they just blew it all on Severino.
I think they've been saving it. I think they have probably billions of dollars that they've been saving.
And they're just
Dude, if they
hiding
go to
it.
Vegas,
Sign into a
if they
30-year
go to
deal.
Vegas and just break the MLB market, that'd be the funniest
Wait,
development
that would
in
be
sports.
absolutely.
They just
they said
go to
the
Vegas.
Juan
Yeah,
Soto
they just-
deal is
they
coming.
shatter
like
the
your
market.
take.
They make the big market seem even worse. Yeah. Oh my
Here's
God.
how
Give me the villains.
here's how I realistically see this kind of rebuild going on.
Such a villain arc.
They're going to build a really good. Their first step is to build a really good farm system with a lot of guys.
They've been trying to do that forever.
A lot of younger. Yes,
And they
but
lose the guys.
if they finally do that, they'll have guys on rookie contracts when they get in the majors that are good. Then they can sign bigger name guys to complete the team. I'm just saying.
That's how
teams have
every
done it
other
before.
league builds teams, by the way. Except baseball. That's the point of sports. Yeah. It's just baseball that doesn't do that.
But you said they've been trying to do it and it hasn't worked. So I think they have a new strategy: buy all the free agents.
Yeah. Which is how baseball does it. So
They
yeah,
just
it's
need
perfect.
to tank every single year, get the first draft pick, draft everyone, build
76ers.
them up.
How'd that go with Philly? Trust the process.
Have you not seen Jared McCain's vlogs?
That's true. That's true. Jared McCain
I
is
love
doing good.
Jared McCain.
Anyway, are we still going?
Nah, this is perfect. Yeah.
that's
I
what
was trying to bounce it to
If
you.
we're talking total A's demolition with their team, I think they should start with their name. Oakland Anteaters 2025 World Series champions.
I love it.
Thank you. Anyway, next up we have Kyle. I'm going to botch his last name.
Higashioka. I'll say it.
helping
Higashioka
her. Oh,
signed
my
a 2-year, $12.5 million deal with the Rangers.
I'm a big fan of Higashioka. He was a
He
Yankee.
torched the Braves in the wild cards.
That wasn't
he was
very
a
hard
Yankee
for
for a while.
teams to do the playoffs.
He was good at his job.
Yeah,
He's a
I
good
mean
catcher.
he Garrett Cole's personal catcher, so I feel like that has to
He
say
gets the
something.
job done. He's great.
Y'all know he's 35. He's never been in free agency before. He was drafted in 2008
Really?
by the Yankees. He spent 9 years in the minors and then stayed with the Yankees since then.
That's the problem.
He's never been in free agency. He's only been in New York since 2008. Yeah.
Yeah, and Jonah Heim, the catcher for the Rangers, had a down year.
After being an all-star in 2023.
Yeah, he did. So, I mean, I think maybe it's a smart move for the Rangers to go out and get another catcher that can help him out when he's slumping. If they project him to slump again, I don't know. Maybe there's something underlying going on.
I mean, the catcher's market is not good no matter
No.
what. Like, he was the last good catcher, and then it was like Darno was like the next best, and then like who else is no one. That's the problem. So I mean, great if you needed a catcher, great signing. Only good catcher on the market right now. Good job.
Great signing for the Rangers.
Yeah, it's a
That's a
weak
good like
catcher.
that's a good catching duo like Heim and what's his face? Who were we talking about?
Higashioka.
Yeah,
Higashioka. That's a good
Nailed that.
duo.
I got that.
That's a good catching duo for the Rangers.
Yeah, I think the only problem I could see with this would be his age being 34 years old compared to Jonah Heim.
That's older than I thought.
Yeah, compared to Jonah Heim, which is of course
He's 29.
he made the
How long was
he
his
made the All-Star. His contract is. Does anyone have how long his contract is?
Who?
How many years was Higashioka's contract?
How many years?
I think it was 3. It could be 2,
3, okay.
maybe 4 or 1. Let's see. Kyle,
Well, I mean, he's 35. I'd hope it's.
Oh, Maura has it.
No, I don't.
Yes, you do.
Oh, 2 years.
2 years, 13.5
years.
million.
Okay.
Yeah.
So something I just very interestingly noticed is that Jonah Heim and Higashioka both have.
What did you just say?
Higashioka.
Stop, I'm just gonna call him Kyle for the rest of the time.
That was
just
worse than
saying.
mine, and I tried.
They both
Shoga.
have.
He said Higoshia or something.
Higashoga. They said, that's whatever.
But they both have the same average. Kyle beats Jonah by like 4 home runs. Their stats are almost the same.
Kyle beats John. It's crazy.
John? You see a J and an O and an H, and you think
should
John,
start
not
over.
Jonah.
Guys, I have a new
over.
idea. I have a new idea. Only me, Drew, and Riley are allowed to say names. Everyone else has to mouth them, and we'll just if we're on the screen, we'll do like ventriloquy. And for Mara, you can just mouth it, and we'll speak it out loud.
Genius.
They'll never know.
Come on,
Absolutely
the only
not.
important
Yeah,
Jonah is the
that's
one from the Bible.
All right,
I
Mara.
like that
Jonah
idea a lot,
Heim.
actually.
Mara, what's the name we got? What's the next
Can our
name we
producers
got?
fix that?
I actually was hoping that I could just call him Chapman for this one. You guys are setting me up for failure
I'm about
with these
to
names.
roll this.
Anyway,
I can't say it.
Chapman signed a 1-year, $10.75 million contract with the Red Sox.
See, honestly, I didn't even know he was a free agent, and I didn't even hear anything about his signing until I looked it up. So, I mean, I like the guy. I think he's very underrated. He's gone under the radar. He still averages 98 miles per hour, and he did top out at 105 last season. So he's still got it, even though he's 37.
Toby said this in the other room. If you throw 105 consistently, it's the same as throwing 98 consistently because the timing doesn't change at all. So.
No, he was saying that about how starting pitchers, if you do that throughout 9 innings and never switch it up, and that's the only pitch you have.
No, but Chapman
You're
only.
taking this out of
And
context.
your arm is
that's not what Toby was
absolutely
saying.
cooked.
Yeah, no, he was just
Absolutely
saying,
gone,
He was saying,
just
if a batter,
like
he
off.
was saying if a batter sees 105 through 9 innings and it's just fastballs, eventually they're fix the timing. You have to mix in curveballs and slower pitches with faster. That's all Toby was saying. That wasn't relevant.
Does Chapman have an arsenal that switches it up? Because my point was just that he throws like too many.
But he's
close
a
together.
closer. That's what I'm saying. He comes. So you have your pitcher come in, throw a bunch of like filth, and then he comes in the 9th and he just.
I'm a closer now.
Chapman's, I think, always been.
That's corny, but maybe.
Chapman, I think, has always been a closer.
Yeah, he's a closer. Yeah,
He's always been.
So
a
he
closer.
comes in to switch it up by throwing his 98.
Chapman is.
All right, perfect.
Chapman is still obviously got the gas to do it.
I thought he was a reliever.
The
That's why
question
I have that.
throughout his career has been his control, because a lot of his career, a lot of his
Erotic.
problems have been with the control of his arm. Yes, he's got gas. Can he control it well?
Right.
That's the question. Because yes, if a guy's throwing 105 or 98, that's great if he can throw it in the box. Because if he doesn't, he's just going to allow a lot of walks, and he's kind of pointless if he's just going to constantly get guys on base. With him being a closer, I think the Red Sox need a closer because, come on, Kenley Jansen, are you kidding me?
He's still there.
Red Sox need every pitcher.
Yes, they need just pitchers. I mean,
Remember
come
when
on.
Kenley Jansen was on the Braves for a year? That was so random.
That was
It was
the
two years
worst.
ago. But
That
it
was
was
the
like
worst.
it was so random.
I am so happy we gave him to the Red Sox because, well, they needed him. We didn't. He was kind of bad. So, yay.
But also, Chapman hasn't closed since 2021, so
Yeah.
might be a problem.
I just think that the age and control is where I draw the line.
I think he's so iconic.
Yeah, he is, though.
I don't like the signing. I don't think it's good. I think he's a bop. It's his 5th team since 2022. He's been going around
But
a lot of
it's
different
perfect
teams.
for the Red Sox because the
Yeah.
Red Sox need a bop kind of player.
No, they don't need someone who's been passed. Like another that many teams have said they don't want him and stuff. It's look like
The Red
he's
Sox
not
just need
doing it.
someone.
He's
Where
not.
was he
He's
last?
37 years old. He's
Who
not.
else are the Red Sox
He's
gonna
not
get?
pitching as good.
Name me
Hey,
another player.
Freed's on the
Fried.
radar.
Yeah, they can get freed, but
You said he hasn't closed since 2021.
they don't
Are
need
you
just
sure?
one.
I think he has. I was reading an article that said his saves has gone way down, but it didn't say he wasn't.
Probably
closing.
because he hasn't freaking.
It said he's had 29. That's what I was thinking. Like, he's had 29 saves since 2021, then 33 in 2020. That's, I don't know.
Oh my gosh.
I don't like the sign.
The Red Sox bullpen is, of course, struggling. They're one of the worst teams in baseball. So I think Aroldis Chapman, yes. I mean, he was just with the Yankees.
Just get anyone to help. Like,
I mean,
need
yeah,
all the help
he's
they can.
he's not obviously who they're going to build upon in the bullpen, but he's an arm to help that process. Because if they go out and get Fried, they're building that bullpen, but it's not quite there yet.
I just think a lot of teams, like a lot of players that have great careers, they'll end up on like a bunch of teams towards the end because franchises just looking like, oh, that name, he used to be good, and they just bring him on and he's bad. I feel like that's happened to this is 15 since 2022. Like that's just he's being passed around right now. And the Red Sox are like, oh, it's my turn.
Does he have a championship?
I don't think he's half as good as he was 3 years ago.
No, Chapman I don't think does. I don't think he
That
does.
sucks.
But, I mean, he's still pumping gas. He is still throwing really, really hard. It's just control is going to be the problem for him. So.
Yes, we can.
Oh, he has.
I agree.
Oh, he won with the Cubs. Oh, and obviously with the Rangers. He has 2 championships.
Well,
You should hold it in front of the camera.
the Red Sox fit him perfectly. Mara, what's our next guy we got?
The Angels continue their aggressive offseason by signing
Yusei Kikuchi.
him to a 3-year, $63 million deal.
Avoiding Kikuchi is fair. Yeah.
What are the Angels doing? That's my question.
Being an Angels, that organization is sad.
They spend the
especially
most money.
real.
They're the
Like
most
the
aggressive
most
team
aggressive
so
team.
far. They've got Darno, they've got Soler, they've got Kikuchi now, they've got Kyle Hendricks.
What's that going to do for them?
I know that's not much, but like they just like keep on like signing people.
Keep on signing names. It's only going to maybe by the grace of God, get them to the wild card. They're not even a contender.
Hey, the Astros have some AL West competition now. Better watch out.
Nonetheless, contenders or not, this is a very
They had
good
Mike
good
Trout,
name.
Shohei Ohtani, and still couldn't make the
didn't do anything.
playoffs.
That's like so crazy.
Honestly, if they even signed Soto, I still don't think they would ever make the postseason. I really
No.
This is
You
a
can't do it with Ohtani, then you're not doing it with Soto.
don't. Seriously, it took the Dodgers
that's
a
true.
year to get to the World Series with Ohtani.
this is a pitcher that played for the Jays before. He didn't look confident. He played for the Astros. He started looking confident again, and it was a good guy for the Angels to pick up for sure.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I don't know. I think the contract, I think he was wildly overpaid. You said he was good with the Astros. That was half a season. He had a 2.71 ERA or something like that with the Astros, I think. And other than that, he's had like, a 4.5, 5 ERA for, the rest of, all the years that he's pitched. So, I mean, I think, $63 million for 3 years, I think that's too high of a contract.
That's so crazy.
Yeah, I definitely think the Angels overpaid for it. I don't think it was a good signing.
Last year he was 9-10 with a 4.06 ERA, and you're paying him $63 million.
And that's 406 after having
That's-
like a really good second
that's
half.
another-
So that means he had a terrible first.
Another point of concern for how high this pitching market is getting.
Yes.
The market's breaking right now. It's
Absolutely.
The market in total, like I think we'll get to that when we talk about Juan Soto. The market this year is crazy.
All I have to say for this one, the Angels manager, I want to directly quote him because he sounds so stupid. It's the most a lot of nothing quote. Like just generic. Let me look up ChatGPT. What's a baseball term? Like he said, when you look at his underlying numbers, like the strikeouts and walks, last year was a quality year overall. And for our rotation, we wanted guys who attack the strike zone, and durability is very, very important. And we wanted some swings and misses. So he fits all those things, and his makeup, obviously. It's a direct quote.
I think
He wants swings and misses, and he's looking at the underlying numbers, the strikeouts.
About anyone in the league can
I
do
think
that.
he just wanted a pitcher, and he's like backing up any pitcher that he would get. I think that's
No,
just,
yeah,
like,
that's
a
what I'm
player.
saying.
That sounds like
I just-
a standard pitcher.
I just think like if you threw my mom in front of a press conference and like was like describe this player, then she'd be like he gets swings and misses and he throws in the strike zone instead of out of it. That's what she would say.
Yeah, there's
He's
nothing
dumb,
like
he's-
special about the guy.
Yeah, he said
It's just,
No.
he said no.
I mean, a manager is never going to come out and say that. They're going to have a very filtered answer that they give for the media.
I think he could have done better.
you know.
I think he could have. I don't know. Yeah, I thought it was pretty.
I like how Katie brought up earlier. He of course had an okay career with the Astros, and the rest of the teams he's played for, it's kind of been abysmal. A lot of time, pitchers, depending on who they go to, the team and the culture can be a massive shift for them. And so I think obviously with him at the Astros, I think that was a good shift for him in culture. But obviously, him going to the Angels of all teams, that's like the worst team you could go for a team change or a culture change.
No.
So, yeah.
We were just talking about one.
I mean, not
earlier
the
that would be
worst,
worse.
but, like-
I mean, not after they sign all the free agents, but like right now.
That's the worst. Let's get to the biggest one.
Yeah.
Oh, we got one more.
Yeah, we
The
got
biggest- that's
one
the
more.
biggest one.
Mara, this
One
should be easy for you to
Biggest
say.
signing.
We have two more.
Oh, we have two.
Yeah.
Tommy Edmonds
Oh, shoot.
is back with the Dodgers with a 5-year, $74 million contract.
We only had Tom.
I'll just say this. I'll just start off here, just make it quick for everyone. This was a good signing by the Dodgers. His postseason was pretty good, so why not keep him?
He showed up when it mattered.
I think it might be the same story as Eddie Rosario, hot in the postseason, got re-signed, and then fell off in the next.
I mean, I think he's a good player for the Dodgers to have around. He's a utility player. He can play in a lot of places, and you need a guy like that because you never know when injuries are going to show up, when, people just need a rest day, like what's happening. It's good to just have someone that can go fill it anywhere and is still relatively productive. I mean, I don't think they're signing him to be, a huge help to their offense, but he can, just kind of go and play anywhere and help out in that way.
I mean, and it's cheap. I mean, they deferred $25 million of his money. So,
Sounds like the Dodgers.
For him, he's the guy. He's not the guy to make them better. He's just the guy that they need to fill in a spot.
It's
And
definitely
he's a good guy to fill the spot.
It's if it ain't broke, don't fix it kind of guy.
Yeah.
And Dodgers are doing it. Mara, what's our last one that we got?
And lastly, with the biggest signing so far, Blake Snell has signed a 5-year, $182 million deal.
I just want to say this is arguably the worst pitcher they could have gotten on this year's market, so I'm really not that moved by this. But
I just hate how they keep getting star after
I mean,
star.
yeah, it's annoying, but
Yeah. This is why the MLB needs a salary cap.
yes.
I was actually. just about to write
I have that in my notes for
just
our
about to
segment
write
we have
that.
coming up.
If they had a salary cap, I think I'd like the sport so much more. I think I'd really nerd out on it and stuff.
Yeah.
I think that's what
And
keeps me away from it.
a lot of fans they just wait tens and tens of years for their team to be good, to win a World Series, and every team and every fan base would have a chance of being good and winning World Series more consistently if there was a salary cap.
I think with
We
college
should wait
football.
we should pause the salary cap and wait for the next segment.
Yeah, no, I have a lot to
Yeah.
say about that, actually. Yeah, that's a
Yeah,
good point.
yeah.
Yeah, because
If you wanna-
the deferred money and stuff, I have a lot to say about that, too.
Yeah.
And Soto.
But I don't think he's worth $36 million.
You don't?
No.
I mean, with the
Blake
market's
Snell-
different now.
Blake
with the
Snell
changed
doesn't
way.
scare me.
I feel like pitching salaries have changed to the point now where in the future, when we look 3 years down the line and see that 36 mil, we're going to be like, that's how much Blake Snell's make now. I think the market's just shifting. Just like when like Calvin Ridley a couple years ago signed with the Jaguars, and it was so much money. Now it's like, oh, that makes sense, or was it Gabe Davis? It doesn't matter. But people break. The first person to break the market always shocks everyone, and then 1 year down the line, you're like, that's how much they make. I feel like that's what's going to happen with
I
Blake.
feel like this is a signing that's the coach-player mix is going to be very important because it's going to, that's for sure gonna make
Isn't
big
there a
impact.
pitcher that he was with on the Rays or something? On the Dodgers? I heard something about that.
Maybe.
But
We'll never know.
I personally just don't like Snell.
Fair enough.
Fair enough.
I mean, he at his press conference Tuesday, first time with the Dodgers, whatever, and he was talking. He said it was really easy, and then you look at the team, you look at what they've built, what they're doing. It's just something you want to be a part of. Look at the 3 first hitters in the lineup. It's tough to go against. So to be on the other side and know what's going to be hitting for me, it's pretty exciting. So basically, you're the Kevin Durant of baseball, and you're going where the best players are. That's what's happening with the league right now.
Yeah.
That's what Snell's done.
And I mean, honestly, if I was in the league and there was a team like the Dodgers that was going to pay me a ton of money, I would go.
Absolutely.
It's hard to watch as a fan, especially if you're not a Dodgers fan or a Mets fan or one of those teams that is just going to pay insane amount of monies to players. But if I was a player and I was in that situation, I would do the exact same thing. So I feel like it's not really their fault. It's their job after all. This is how they, this is what they do for their work. So they're going to go where they can make the most money, especially if it is a contender like the Dodgers.
I think for this one, I think it was obviously an easy pick for Snell. He's going to get the money. I don't even think that money was a huge factor in this case. I really don't. I think what his biggest thing was World Series. He wants that ring. With his earnings from the Rays and the Padres, I think he's made. The Dodgers' money was just a nice little cherry on top for the eventual World Series that he wants to gain.
Right.
The Dodgers are the easiest path to get there, and they were willing to go get him.
I think this is a perfect segue to the next thing we're about to talk about, like this whole discussion.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
That's it.
And last, but certainly not least, we have our 3 to See segment, starting with the new moves that the Dodgers have made. They have surpassed the $1 billion mark in deferred money.
Yes.
Why are you guys always laughing at me? I
No,
swear.
I'm just.
Anyway, how
I'm
does
laughing
this
at the
affect
segment.
baseball?
I'm laughing at the segment because this is absolutely ridiculous that the Dodgers have $1 billion left over. I was
Just-
not laughing at Mara.
We're usually not. We're usually laughing at each other. And
Oh,
then
no,
I'll
most
turn
of
to
the
you
time
so
I always
you
take it
feel bad.
personally.
Yeah, I try to make you feel bad.
Disgusting.
So,
$1
so.
billion.
This is bad for the game.
Let's
This is
think
horrible.
Wait, what?
You're right. Yes, this is bad.
$1 billion with a B.
So disgusting and yes, I love this. This is
Yes.
awful. It's so.
Absolutely.
This is legit. Like
Like
seriously.
it's not even $1 billion. Like it's $1 billion in
face.
deferred money. Not even part of the
It's
contract.
not even
That was
$1
a
billion
good
for
one.
3 teams. It's for teams.
Because they don't have the money
teams
right now. They have to
didn't get.
Oh my
They
God.
do have the money.
No,
right now,
I mean, like
swear.
they
just
have a
want-
certain amount to pay for 2024. They've exceeded that limit, and now they just push it
No,
over in the
the
future.
thing
It's
with
ridiculous.
deferred money, so basically how it works with the luxury tax is they'll take the money and then, so like say it's $25 million that they have deferred until 2042. I guess there's like some sort of way, I guess you can guess how much like inflation is gonna rise by. So what they have to pay on the luxury tax is how much they think $25 million is gonna be worth in 2042. So basically it's just a cheat code for them to
Yeah,
pay
exactly.
less
No,
luxury
exactly.
tax.
It's
like Otani is making $2 million a year.
yeah, because he's a gambling addict, so he's got
$2 million. Like
sponsorships. Yeah, he needs
he
the money coming back.
signed a $700 million contract, and then he's only making $2 million of that
Yeah.
This is
a year.
No, and their manager or their owner came out and said that they were like, honestly, it's not really that much. Like Otani was just like an exception, and that was like crazy and unseen. But like everyone else, that's like pretty characteristic. But his is only $680 million that was deferred.
Only.
They're no, not only.
No,
I'm
I know
saying.
what you mean. I'm just saying.
I'm saying there's still
I'm following you.
$320 million from other players that are deferred to exceed $1 billion. So.
I love Roberts as a
Insane.
manager, but with that comment, just keep your mouth shut. That is
Yeah.
unbelievable.
To be fair, I don't know if it was the manager or the owner, so
It
don't.
might have been free.
Whoever it was, just
Yeah.
that's a
shows
dumb.
that
That's a very dumb.
the MLB just doesn't care about their fans. Like it's honestly, it's like college football. Like the people that like hate the NIL and they're like it's ruining the sport. The dystopia they're picturing is what the MLB is. It's just like it's all about just making as much money as possible. I would love to tell y'all a little fun fact about the first ever like big deferred money contract in sports history. Okay, was the USFL in the 1980s. All right, and so it was. Basically, the USFL was a minor league spring affiliate of the NFL.
Yeah.
Okay, and then Donald Trump bought a team. All right, and then decided he wanted to like buy up all the best players and compete with the NFL. And this owner named J. William Oldenburg signed Steve Young to a $43 million deal that was supposed to end in 2027. He signed in 1984, so he's supposed to be still making money. And then Oldenburg got caught with tax fraud, went to prison, and Steve Young didn't get his paychecks anymore. So maybe that'll happen here. We'll see.
Maybe he'll go to
the Dodgers
prison.
owner.
Maybe he'll go to
Maybe the
prison
Dodgers
for tax
owner
fraud.
is lying
That
about
would
his
be
money.
so funny.
That would be so
like
funny.
2040, he's like, oh, I actually don't have your money.
Yeah, exactly.
It's
yeah.
LA. It's LA. They're never gonna run out of that money.
No, they won't.
They're
This was the Los Angeles Express. But yeah, no, that was more
But
fun
I mean,
fact than real
with
thing.
salary
obviously.
caps, if you spend big on a free agent, you should just have to eat that money, except that you can't spend money on another free agent.
If you don't have any more money to pay for players in 2024, you shouldn't be able to get more players. Like that's insane. That's crazy.
NIL
Yeah.
and Major League Baseball are 2 prime examples of why the NFL adopted a salary cap. It's to stop these giant teams from getting all of the big names, spreading out the all-star talent they have. Because, I mean, it's like, think about it. Like, most of the all-star rosters are just made up of Dodgers players, Yankees players, Braves players, Phillies
disgusting.
players. They're made up of these big teams, and you don't have, like, other teams getting representation in the all-star games.
Salary cap, revenue sharing.
It also utilizes decision making for the GMs. Like it's like, is this guy worth it? Should we get someone else, or now it's like if we get this guy, we can defer his money and we still have money to go out and get another guy.
They shouldn't be able to spend money that they don't have. That they will have it, but that they will
Yeah.
probably have in 20 years. It's disgusting. Yeah.
I agree. They're not playing in 2042. Why
Salary
are you
cap.
paying them in
They
2042?
to get a big name teams have to put big money forward, and then most teams don't have other money to give to other guys because they all gave it to one guy. That's why salary caps are needed, so teams can't abuse the amount of money that they get. Because of course, it's like LA and Oakland. LA is a bigger market than Oakland. So think about it. If a salary cap happened, would smaller teams like Miami, Oakland, and heck even Minnesota become a bigger market?
It would just become based on how well you build a team, which is how it should be. Like if Oakland drafts well, they would become more attractive for free agents, and they would get more. You would reward people for being good at their jobs with success. Instead of just. I talk about this. I feel like every single
To
episode.
save the MLB, we need a salary cap.
And revenue sharing.
Yes.
Yeah.
Agree.
Absolutely.
We could talk about this all night, but Maura?
I can talk.
Next up, Rob Manfred has recently come out saying there's a buzz around the MLB implementing a golden at-bat rule. Want to explain what this is and what our thoughts are?
Katie?
Yeah, so basically the golden at-bat rule is where you can pinch hit any player one time per game wherever you want. So say, it's the bottom of the ninth, you're down by 1 run, and you have your 7, 8, 9 in the lineup up. You can go in and you could pinch run your number 1 guy to hope that, they can pull through for your team and pull off a win. So that's basically what the golden at-bat rule is.
There are so many problems with this. First of all, it puts we're going back to markets, but it puts the smaller market teams with no star players at a disadvantage because you won't have the star players to put in these situations against like the Yankees who could put Judge, Soto, if you get, anyone. So like small markets aren't going to be able to have that advantage, that luxury for this. It'll also mess up the stats because the good players will be getting more at bats that stat pad their stats as much as they can, and it takes away the strategy of lineup placements, like building lineups, like having your strategy with who's going to go where. If you can just stick some guy here whenever you want in the middle of the game.
I agree. Yeah, no, I agree. I said sell also. The question marks are there just because I'm confused as if this is a buy or sell, not because I'm questioning my take. I am fully selling. I think it was Fox that I was reading it on, Fox Sports, and they went and they interviewed a few players just to kind of see how they felt about it. And they interviewed Christian Yelich, Carlos Correa, and Matt Strahm. And Christian Yelich and Carlos Correa, they both like the rule, but that's because they're hitters. This could help them out. This could help their team out. But Matt Strahm, he did not like the rule, and that's because he's a pitcher. This is terrible for pitchers. They've already pitched the 1, 2, 3. It's strategy about what pitcher you're going to pitch, where you're going to pitch them, and now you can just, throw in a random batter that could really hurt pitchers and hurt their stats also. Not only.
Part of the game is like if you're in a tied game and you're like. Most of the time you're relieved if you like in the bottom of the line. If you're like, oh, we just have the bottom of the lineup, like we're good, we can get out of this. Now with this, it's like no, you have Judge to face again.
No, I agree.
For the second.
And I think it takes away some really fun moments. Also, it's fun when your number 9 hitter who has a 152 batting average and 3 hits, well maybe 3 home runs the entire season, comes through and pulls off in that big moment. I think that brings a lot of fun to it.
Yeah.
I'm ready for this one.
This is crazy. All right, yeah, you go because let's get the cells done, and then you can go and I'll go.
I think that this is a absolutely stupid rule, and because I think this just takes the advantage out of the way. This makes it to where bigger teams with better batters are automatically going to get a better advantage over the opposing
Even
team.
more than they already do, like the Dodgers.
This is a prime example. The Yankees and Dodgers will abuse the heck out of this rule. It is absolutely unfair for every single team. Because most of the time when you play the Yankees or Dodgers, if you get past, Ohtani or Judge, it's like, okay, we have a better chance. Nope. With this new rule, nope. You're just going to put Judge back in there. This also begs the question, if you strike out Judge, can they put him back in the same at-bat? Or in the same inning?
What if it's
Just think about it. If
it's your 3, 4, 5 and Judge comes and he strikes out, you can put him in again. And then he's seeing those pitchers no.
I love that.
No.
He's like, it's like with the Yankees roster. It's like, oh wow, Judge struck out first at bat, and then Soto gets out, and then they put in Judge again.
That's awful.
This is absolutely stupid because smaller teams are not going to be able to put up with this much firepower that the Phillies, the Yankees, the Dodgers, the list is endless.
The Braves.
Braves,
The Braves.
bigger teams with better bats are going to abuse this. It's absolutely stupid that this is even a rule they're considering because let's be real. Rob Manfred, I think, as a commissioner for baseball, has ruined the game, in my opinion.
Yes.
He's
I
done
mean, it was already
The pitch
ruined.
clock was good.
He's done a few
Pitch
good
clock,
things.
The pitch
salary
clock
cap
is
is
But
much higher.
he's done a few good things, but there's been opportunities that he's had to make
Every
the game
leader
better,
ever
and he
has
hasn't
good
taken
things.
it.
He's not fixing actual problems in the MLB, like blackouts, like the
Salary
A's,
cap.
the A's problem, the salary
Revenue
cap,
sharing.
the Tampa Bay Stadium, like the excessive arm injuries. Like there's so many problems in the MLB that need to be solved before a golden at bat rule.
Can I buy, please? Because I absolutely buy on this, 100%, like 1,000%. Yeah, thank you. This is crazy. Okay, first of all right, first of all, and this is not my only take, so don't lose. It would make baseball more fun. It would be more fun to watch because you would get to watch stars more, okay? Second of all, there's pitchers that are like there's closers that are like, I only pitch against left-handed batters in the 9th inning, and there's specific specialty pitchers. You would get specialty pitchers that can just take out the elite guys. Like I think like there would be like a name of like this guy strikes out Aaron Judge, and like teams would employ that player. So I think it would give opportunities for pitchers that can figure out batters that are really like some of the star batters. I think it would give an opportunity for them because you would have guys that like literally are on the roster just to strike out these elite players. And then third, my biggest argument with this whole thing, we need to take a more romantic approach at this sport because of course, how can you not be romantic about baseball? Who's the greatest basketball player of all time? LeBron James, Michael Jordan. Okay, those are players with a long list of clutch, incredible, last-second heroic moments. In football, there's the same thing. Baseball, there's heroes, there's incredible players, but there's less of that because it's the only sport where you can't say, into the game, time to put the ball in this guy's hands. That's one of the most exciting and fun things about sports. It's 5 seconds left. You know what's going to Michael Jordan. He's an incredible player. What's he going to do? Baseball has less of those players than basketball and football because we don't have something like this. Like maybe Tatis is Michael Jordan. Maybe when you put Tatis in, he's going to bat .455 and become a legendary player that we remember for 40 years. But we don't know that unless we have something like a golden bat rule.
I have a question for the panel.
Yes.
Cool, of course.
Do you guys enjoy watching a 9-inning game that goes 0-0 and you're like, oh, I'm so fulfilled at the end of this game? I'm so happy that I watched
This is not
all of
fixing
this.
that.
Yeah, I
if they
don't
didn't
know.
get,
I don't know that.
if they didn't get
Well,
any
I'm not
runs in
done.
the beginning, they're not getting them
Okay,
because the
keep
golden
going.
at
He's
bat.
not done. Be quiet, let Drew.
done.
80? Let him go.
I am buying on this because I believe that not only can this be more entertaining for the game itself, don't you want a rebrand of baseball? I mean, not
No.
a full-scale
No.
rebrand,
No.
but like
Salary cap, revenue sharing, change the A's, and also
you're
golden bat rule. This is a rebrand.
We're talking
Like-
about a rebrand of everything. We want a salary cap. Why not add in a rule that can make little market teams go for one player? Like make them have like
The
a
A's
marquee player.
signing
It'd
would
be
make
cool.
more sense.
I
It's
had
a
very
cool
easy
idea.
argument to shut them down, and I'm going to let them speak this out real
Okay.
quick. So, do you know how like most guys get known? It's because of those big time moments at the end of a game. A lot of guys who are lower in the lineup get recognized because of those moments. So what you're saying is you would rather have a select few people be well known instead of all 9 batters at the end of the game.
Jackson, there's
Yes.
more than
Yes.
there's more than one
Yes.
important at bat per game. You would still have guys. You would be like, they already used their pinch hit. He struck out. Now it's the 9th batter to do it for him.
So,
and then the
so
9th batter,
what you're saying
it's
is
a home
you
run
would
for the
rather
win.
give the glory all to Aaron Judge instead of guys like, heck, Ben Rice.
Bottom of the 9th, 2 outs. It can go to anyone. I want to see the best players out.
Yeah, I agree. I want to see the
I
best
think-
player
It
going at
wouldn't
it
be
with
Aaron
the
Judge.
best
He's not
pitcher.
clutch. But yeah,
I-
I want
Yeah,
ball.
you had that in the game already.
I have a
If he
compromise.
already
a
got-
dedicated outcome.
I have one argument that I'd love to hear a compromise.
I have a compromise.
You can go.
I can say it?
Yeah, you can go ahead.
Okay. Thank you for letting me speak.
I know I was fucking nerve. Yeah.
Okay. Oh, yes.
Oh, I just have a follow-up. Do you guys think that this would limit the probability of extra innings?
I mean, I think it could. Yeah, no, I definitely think it could.
What's extra innings, Maura?
Limit.
They're tied. Is it?
You know, what I was going to say about the compromise is that I think if there is a golden hitter, you should also have the chance to have a golden pitcher.
I like this. I like
Yeah,
this.
where one player, you could choose any pitcher you want to come in, because then that way it evens it out between
And
the
then go back to the
advantage
old
to
pitcher.
hitters
You can
and
already do
pitchers.
that.
That
I feel like you would
messes
have to
up like
if you did golden hitter.
their time. Like they have certain days where they can pitch because you can't pitch back to back. That would mess up their schedule.
Can a pitcher step out for an at bat and then come back in and be fine? Like if you pitch 100,
can't.
if you pitch 100 pitches and then you step out, they put in someone to go against Judge and they put him back in. Like, is that pitcher's gonna be like sore?
That
Like,
would mess
I actually
up,
don't know.
You're thinking about it too
That's
fast.
just just the ball
Baseball is
knowledge.
all about tempo, and
Okay.
that would be
Because I like that idea too,
okay
that's what I thought.
compromise. But I think that would even be worse for the pitchers because like for example, if like Garrett Cole is like pitches the game, and then the last inning of the game, Dodgers bring in Shohei Ohtani. Oh, so what are they going to do now? They're going to bring back Garrett Cole after sitting down for maybe
That's
2 or
gonna-
3 innings.
I mean, I'm just saying, like, you know,
That
there's
does not sound like a
certain
good idea.
There's certain matchups that like hitters, you know, no, they just have that one pitcher that they cannot hit against. So I think that if there's pitchers, there's that one hitter that they can't strike out. So if hitters are going to have that advantage, if they're going to have the offensive advantage, I think the other team should be able to,
And
you
so
know, kind
now
of
they have
even
to
it out.
warm up their arm. They have to throw pitches. They have to mess up their schedule. They can't pitch the next day.
Wait.
for one at bat.
Here's the thing. If they
That's a long at
here's the thing.
bat.
If they just like all of a sudden on a whim just put in Aaron Judge, the other team is going to go to the bullpen and get a guy that can go against him. They're going to put their pitcher in. That makes the game even longer. Because think about
whatever.
it. 'Cause they
okay,
warm
okay.
up.
Hey.
Think about it. Pitchers have to warm up. Pitchers have to go on the mound, pitch. That's just
I
going
have
to
a
make the
counter to
game
the
longer,
injury
and
point.
that's such a dumb
I have a
idea.
counter to the injury point.
What is it?
Do you know how much these players get paid? They get paid more than
That's a good
average
trump card.
jobs. They should be prepared to do
Good job.
that. That's all I
Yeah.
have.
No, that is a good point. It's
I
just
know.
you average. All right, yeah.
No, I hate this rule.
And one more
This is
thing to
crazy.
say
It's
on
so
that
strong.
before we move on. You're
Okay.
saying that like it would just kind of cancel it out, but I think it can make the game more exciting in the way. Like, do y'all remember when Shohei Ohtani and Mike Trout faced each other in the World Baseball Classic?
Yes.
You know, that was a great matchup. Everybody wanted to see that one matchup. So there would be really exciting matchups if there was both like the golden pitcher and, you know, golden at-bat rule.
Being clutch would become more valuable than it is. Being clutch would you'd get more money if you're a clutch baseball player, more so than you already do.
Here's the thing,
Wildly more valuable.
guys that
And
become
it should be.
big in the lower part of the some big guys became big because of those big moments that they were in the bottom of the lineup. Those big
But
moments.
those still gonna happen, man. Like it's just there's more than
Also,
one big.
here's
I think we
the
might need to
thing,
move on.
would you-
But yeah, you know, it's
If a guy hit a grand slam in the 4th inning, do you really think that would equal the same amount of popularity as a guy hitting a 2-run bomb
or
in the bottom
like
of the ninth?
in the ninth inning. There's only one at bat. There's always more than one at bat in every ninth inning, in every baseball game ever. There's always more than
every
one at
other
bat.
inning.
Here's the thing. Here's the thing. Would you
yes.
rather have Aaron Judge hit a grand slam in the 4th or an unknown hit a game-winning grand slam in the bottom of the ninth?
Unknown.
And
I would rather have the-
We're not losing that. But we
Okay.
can move on. We're not. losing
Okay,
that.
I think we're all strong on our points. Let's
None of y'all
Maura,
points
speak.
changed my mind.
Whoa. I personally think extra innings are great. When you do the 9 hot dogs, 9 waters, and 9 innings challenge, you can just like expand. You know what I mean? Thank you.
That must be,
They're nodding.
That must be a Philly thing.
You guys don't do that?
Braves don't.
No.
Okay, anyway.
talk about
You
dollar
dip it in
dog
water
night.
and it like.
No, it's not water. Anyway.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, okay, anyway, last but certainly not least, in the latest Juan Soto news, bidding has officially surpassed $600 million. Is he worth more or less? What are our thoughts?
Before you guys answer, I do have more information that was just released. An hour ago, Jack Curry went on the Michael Kay show and talked about Soto. And he said Soto will guaranteedly get a 14 to 15-year deal and will exceed the $14 million average annual value contract that Shohei Ohtani
Oh, it's
got.
15 years. 600 million makes plenty.
That's what I'm
Oh,
confused
he's gonna get more
about.
than Ohtani?
Yeah.
That's what
Per
I'm
year.
confused about. Well, obviously, because he's getting paid $2 million anyway.
I'm just.
That's
Yeah, no, I'm just telling him.
I'm confused why we're paying a 26-year-old for 15 years. He's going to be 41 making that money. Why? Like, I don't understand.
Because by then, how much is that gonna be? You know, like that's the whole question. Is like 26 to 29 years old. 26 to 29. He's going to be elite and stuff, you know, or into his 30s he's going to be elite. By the time he's 35, like, look at the salary, or not the salary cap, look at the MLB salaries in like 2012 versus now. 12 years from now, like, whatever he's making is not even going to be, it's not even going to be as much at all. And you're going to have, hopefully, you're going to have a dynasty behind you with Juan Soto leading teams and stuff. If I'm an organization, that's probably what I'm saying. That's how I rationalize it. But
15 years is way too much. in my opinion.
and just the
just say
thought
no
of
to
him
it?
even
And just
hitting
stop going after
over
Soto?
$600 million or $600 million is crazy to me. I mean, you look at like players that he's similar to, and I think two players that he's very similar to are Mike Trout and Bryce Harper. And we look at their contracts that they got. They both signed big contracts when they were around his age. You know, Juan Soto, he's 26 right now. Mike Trout, I think he was 28 when he signed his 12-year, $426.5 million. And of course, like, you know, there's inflation. You know, it's worth like different now. And then Bryce Harper, same thing. When he was 27, I think, signed a 13-year, $330 million, which is, they're both nowhere near a $600 million contract. So I think that's absolutely insane, you know, for a team to pay him $600 million. And I mean, that might just be the way that the market's going, but it's crazy to me.
So you're the Yankees, and you hear, are you all hanging up on Soto? Like, I'm not talking to Soto anymore. Like, that's it?
I'm not. I personally, no.
So would you give him this contract?
I mean, I don't think he's worth that amount.
But would you give
But
him?
if the market is going that way,
That's my question. Here.
if the market's not going that way, I might.
I'm legitimately.
That's how I feel too.
I think
I'll
let Riley
way
go
it is.
first.
I'm just like, all I have to say is I'm legitimately confused how he is worth 600 to 750. I seriously, like, call me crazy, but like, his offense doesn't blow me away at all. It's not worth 600 million in my opinion. Like,
We're talking Ohtani. Like, he's going to
Like,
make more
I
than
agree,
that.
I agree.
In
understand
reference to Ohtani,
Ohtani.
Soto doesn't blow me away.
no, like Soto, like I've been like,
100%
so
overhyped.
confused. I've been so confused this whole time how he's
Overhyped is crazy.
Soto wasn't even
his offense.
Overhyped. is
Soto
crazy.
wasn't even the number one guy on the Yankees. It was Aaron Judge. He wasn't even the main guy on his own team. So
He's like
let
the
alone-
third
No, who performed in the playoffs when it mattered?
Well, Soto might have, but did you see the regular season?
He
Riley.
wasn't
Aaron,
bad.
Aaron Judge
You see
out-dominated
that,
Soto.
Whatever he was showing, does that, and you're the Yankees organization, does that mean you're like, oh, I guess we're not talking to Soto anymore? Like, is it over for you? If you see he's asking for 14 years, are you saying
He
I'm
batted .288
would you
in
stop
the-
talking, or would
in
you
the
still be
regular
talking to
season.
Soto?
14 to 15 years is way too long.
So would you stop talking to
I
Soto?
think-
Judge's, it
no.
was Ohtani's.
Judge's was probably around .28 as well.
That's what I'm saying though. Is like, I love what Katie's saying because it's like we can talk about this is too much, but at the end of the day it's not because it's how much he's worth. It's kind of like
He's
it's kind of like
not worth.
iPhones
And
are so expensive.
he's only
and Apple.
worth that amount. I feel like he's only worth that much money because he's the best free agent in this.
It's convenient to the
This has
market,
been
but that's-
projected
it's-
for years.
It's
like,
just
this
like
contract.
it's just like how like people say like
insane to me.
Apple products are too expensive. It's like Apple has a specific price point of how much they know people will buy to make the most money. There's an amount that Juan Soto is gonna make that a team is willing to pay him. That means he's worth that amount of money. So the question isn't like, oh, is this like a contract that makes me feel good about the signing? It's more, would you give Juan Soto this much money if he asked for it to get Juan Soto? And I think a lot of us would do that, and we just don't like it because we wish we could get him for cheap, but we can't. It's not the reality of the business.
If he asks for the same amount of money as Ohtani, then I'm selling on
You're
him.
hanging up?
I'm
That's
hanging
a
up.
fair
If
opinion.
you go
I'm just-
3 for 10,
That's
if you go 3 for 10 as a baseball hitter, you're in the Hall of Fame. Every single season, you're in the Hall of
You'll
Fame.
make more than a
Juan
regular
Soto's
job.
been doing that. He did that last year. He hit .288 last year. Why are you
pay
paying
more
That's
than
not
Ohtani.
3 for 10. That's
So-
2.88 for 10.
Everyone.
All right.
Everyone.
2.9 for 10 actually.
So your logic is, so Freddie Freeman's in the Hall of Fame, but we're not paying him this much as Soto.
Yeah, that was a dumb. I didn't like that
What's
very much.
the
Drew.
like? Okay, Ohtani has better numbers than Soto in the regular season, and I think Ohtani has better numbers than Soto. But here's the thing: Ohtani was paid that much money because yes, he can hit, but he can also pitch. Soto can only pitch.
I agree.
And he's not
You can only-
that
you
much
can
better
only-
than above average players.
No, that's what I'm. Yeah, is he a great player?
Yes.
Yes.
But he is not. He is not one of a kind like
No.
that. We're never gonna see again. He is not like the unicorn that Shohei
Generational
Ohtani
talent.
is.
You don't know that. You don't know that.
Okay, well, I'm not gonna pay him $600 million just in case.
You don't know that. He could hit .35 next year, and then
I don't give
we'd be back here.
.35?
He's not hitting
I
350.
don't care.
He's not hitting 350.
That's still not 600 million.
No, and I mean it's not worth betting on it. I mean, what are the things leading up that he's gonna hit .35 next year? We don't know. For all we know, he could hit .15 next year, and
could.
you would waste your $600 million
For 15
so,
years.
Yeah.
You'd have that guy on your team for 15 years. That's my thing. 15 years is way too much to have one player on a team.
I said we talked about the worst contract in baseball. I said don't put all your eggs in one basket. I don't know if this is. I don't know enough about this deal. I know that we've talked all the time. The Yankees have to get Soto, and I know they have a lot of money. So I don't honestly know enough to know about this deal. All I'm saying though is just that I think when any free agent in any sport hits the market, you all get in your heads like this really attractive deal. It's always going to be more than that. There's always going to be a point where you're like, oh, I love this deal. There's a point where you're like, ew, this is gross, I don't know. And then a point where you're like, no. We're in this this is gross point. I don't think we're at this like hell no point yet and stuff.
I mean,
think we're
personally,
within the like I don't know.
If I was a manager, I would be at the hell no point. I don't understand how these managers are not. He's gotten multiple $600 million deals, like offer deals already, which means it's going to go to $700 million. If there's that many teams that are giving $600 million, like I could see him getting a $700 million deal, and that is wild. Is he a great player? 100%, but he is not a one-of-a-kind generational talent. I don't think he does not deserve $700 million.
Yet again, Soto wasn't even the main guy on his own team. Why would you?
You
pay
can't say that when Aaron Judge is there.
Wasn't he third in MVP?
Exactly. He's not even.
Yeah,
you
he's
cannot
the
pay
third best
him the
player in
most.
baseball. Second?
You cannot pay a
like,
guy the most money that won't even be the most remembered player from his own generation.
He's the MVP runner-up though. Like they have the two best.
If the Yankees get it back,
I don't like that.
Aaron Judge is going to overshadow him.
Aaron Judge and Shohei Ohtani will always overshadow Soto unless he gets this contract. Let's be real.
And he's going
Most
to.
people,
And he's going to.
When both of those guys retire, we're probably going to remember Shohei more fondly than Soto.
Yep.
Because Ohtani was a generational talent. Soto was just another great all-star. Another great Hall of Famer.
Only thing we're going to remember Soto by is this contract.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, definitely.
That is.
The only thing I remember him for is because of the National World Series and his contract. That is it.
Like, that's not even a good thing to be remembered by, that World Series. Not even
Soto is not worth a guy that can play on both sides of ball.
Nope.
And on that note, we're going to take all that anger and rage that we just saw from Jackson and Drew and hold it for next show. That's all for today. We'll be back next week with more trades, rumors. Next semester. After winter break. Thanks again to Connor and Zach in the studio, as well as our panelists. Catch you next time on Touching All Bases.
Merry Christmas!
Catch you next time on
Merry
Catching All
Christmas!
Bases.
Merry Christmas!
I got the name right.
You gotta say